The second reason why you have to fast and pray is because some family curses and altars don't allow people to enjoy in marriage. Some family altars and curses don't allow people to enjoy in marriage. These people will not come home. These people will not be sacked from the marriage. They will be in the marriage, but they will not enjoy in the marriage. It could be they are in the marriage, but they will never give birth. As a result, they are in the marriage, but they are not enjoying. They will be in the marriage. They will face so much financial hardship that even in marriage, they are not enjoying. There are people who are paying for your sadness. There are people who are paying for your divorce. There are people who are saying that no matter what they do, they will make sure you come back home from marriage. There are people who are saying you will marry all right, you will never give birth. You will marry all right, you won't have money. You will marry all right, you won't have the joy in marriage. You will marry all right, but your children will be so stubborn and proud and arrogant. The children will bring you trouble instead of joy. That is why you have to pray. The secret to break these curses is prayer and fasting. Now, how do you have a successful marriage? I'm speaking from my book, Pathway to a Successful Marriage. In that book, I explain 10 keys to have a successful marriage. You can get that book on Amazon by clicking the link in the description on Facebook and YouTube. Click the link in the description. It will send you to Amazon. You can get a copy from there. Or you can send me a WhatsApp on 0548 98 92 32. And I'll forward a copy to you wherever you are at a discounted price. Both PDF is available and the hard copy is available. So 10 ways or 10 secrets to a successful marriage. 10 secrets to a successful marriage. We will take the first 5 secrets this month, and these are spiritual keys. And then the following month, we are going to take the next 5 secrets, which are physical keys. I group them into 2 keys because life is first spiritual before physical. If you gain control of the spiritual, you will have control over the physical. If you have no control over the spiritual, you will have no control over the physical. If your marriage will fail, it will first fail in the realm of the spirit before it will fail physically. If your marriage will go down, your marriage will go down first spiritually before it goes down physically. So it is always important to handle things from the spiritual realm first before you first tackle them in the physical realm. When you are facing any challenge in life, no matter wheresoever, you have to first aim the spiritual before you target the physical. If you solve every problem from the physical, many times you will fail and not get a good solution. When you start with the spiritual and end in the physical, you will have a better solution. So the first secret to marriage, pathway, the first secret to a successful marriage is prayer and fasting. I know you might be thinking, what has prayer and fasting got to do with me having a successful marriage? But it's very important to understand that there are forces that are fighting your marriage. There are forces who may not want you to marry. Let me give you 3 reasons why you have to pray and fast in order to have a successful marriage. Some family curses don't allow people to stay in marriage. There are curses, altars in some families that do not allow people to stay in marriage. As a pastor, I have observed that people entered into marriage with good intention. They entered into marriage with joy, happiness, but the altars in their family never allowed them to stay in marriage. You will marry all right, but you will never stay in that marriage. You will marry all right, but definitely, no matter how long it takes, you will come back to the house. I have seen people in a family where the firstborn went to marriage and came back home. Secondborn went to marriage and came back home. The thirdborn went to marriage and also came back home. The first reason why you need to pray and fast in order to have a successful marriage is because there are forces, there are altars, there are curses in some families that does not allow people to stay in marriages. That is why you have to pray and fast. There is a story whereby three ladies, they all entered into marriage. The first one entered into marriage 4 years time, she came back home. Second one entered into marriage 4 years time, came back home. The third one entered into marriage 4 years time, came back home. The third one said she won't sit down quiet and stay at home as the other two are staying. She decided to engage in prayer, engage in fasting, engage in seeking the prophetic direction. Along the line, she observed that there was a problem from her mother's side, and there was a woman in the mother's side who made an indication that everyone who goes into marriage 4 years, that person will come back home. And whenever there is a marriage ceremony, person picks the picture, cuts the blood, and writes 4 on the picture. It means that no matter what you do, 4 years time, you will come back home. By intensive prayer and fasting, that woman behind that died. When they went into her things, as we were packing her things, they saw that each of them, she had their picture with 4 written with blood on it, saying that after 4 years, you will come back home. This is the reason why before marriage, during marriage, before your wedding, after your wedding, and in the marriage, you don't have to sleep and think that all is well. Marriage is not everything. Wedding is not everything. It's just the beginning of warfare. So understand that the first reason why you have to engage in prayer and fasting is because there are forces that says you will never stay in marriage. Comment below, I will stay in marriage. Comment below, I will stay in marriage. Point number 2, the second reason why you have to fast and pray is because some family curses and altars don't allow people to enjoy in marriage. Some family altars and curses don't allow people to enjoy in marriage. These people will not come home. These people will not be sacked from the marriage. They will be in the marriage, but they will not enjoy in the marriage. It could be they are in the marriage, but they will never give birth. As a result, they are in the marriage, but they are not enjoying. They will be in the marriage. They will face so much financial hardship that even in marriage, they are not enjoying. You will not come back home, but no matter what you do, you won't enjoy in marriage. I know a young man, when he was going to marry, doing well financially, right after marriage, everything went down. Financially, everything went down. For years, this man struggled in marriage, only to find out that there were some forces in the family that says anybody who marries will never enjoy in marriage. A second reason why you have to engage prayer and fasting even in your marriage is because there are forces that says you will stay in the marriage all right, but you will never enjoy in marriage. The secret to break these curses is prayer and fasting. The secret to break these curses is prayer and fasting. The secret to break these altars is prayer and fasting. The secret to destroy these forces is prayer and fasting. Matthew 17:21. Jesus speaking to the disciples said, "Howbeit, these things cannot go out except by prayer and fasting." These forces cannot be destroyed except by prayer and fasting. These altars cannot be crushed except by prayer and fasting. Prayer and fasting produces power to break through in marriage. Prayer and fasting produces power to break through in marriage. Prayer and fasting produces power to break through in marriage, because a prayerful person is always a powerful person. A prayerless person is always a powerless person. Comment below, I will pray, I will fast. Comment below, I will pray, I will fast, I will fast. Let's see one example of people in scriptures who prayed and fasted to sustain herself in marriage and relationship. Esther. Esther 4:15-16. If you are good with the story of Esther, you realize that Esther was an orphan, and by divine intervention and favor, Esther had a wonderful marriage. Esther married the most powerful man in the whole world at that time. Esther married a king. Esther had a wonderful and a glorious marriage and a relationship. Esther moved from nobody to somebody. Esther moved from a useless lady to a useful lady. Esther became the queen of a very mighty city. But when Esther became a queen, a man rose up against Esther and his people called Haman. Haman told the king, "There are people scattered in your provinces. They don't respect your law. They don't obey you. They have different custom. Allow me to kill them and I will pay. Allow me to kill them and I will pay silver talent to them who will do the king's bidding." So Haman paid that Esther's marriage will be destroyed. Esther's life will be destroyed. Esther will lose the happiness, the joy she is having in marriage. There are people who are paying for your sadness. There are people who are paying for your divorce. There are people who are saying that no matter what they do, they will make sure you come back home from marriage. There are people who are saying you will marry all right, you will never give birth. You will marry all right, you won't have money. You will marry all right, you won't have the joy in marriage. You will marry all right, but your children will be so stubborn and proud and arrogant. The children will bring you trouble instead of joy. That is why you have to pray. Mordecai, Esther's uncle, went to tell her that, "Esther, this is the situation at hand. Wake up." That is why I'm sent by God to tell you that if you want a successful marriage, wake up. Don't eat and sleep and think that life happens by chance. Life does not happen by chance. Life happens by choice. Life does not happen by chance. Life happens by choice. You have to make good choices in order to have a successful life and a successful relationship. In Esther 4:15, Esther said to Mordecai, Esther bade them to return to Mordecai this answer. Verse 16, "Go gather together all the Jews that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me. Neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maiden will fast likewise." I also and my maiden will fast likewise. Esther did not just eat and drink. Esther rose up in prayer and fasting. Said, "Mordecai, gather all the Jews and fast. I also, because my marriage is at stake. I also, because my children are at stake. I also, because the future of my marriage is at stake. I will not eat, drink, sleep, watch television, and think that all will be well." Esther said, "I will fast and pray." You know the story. When Esther fasted and prayed, Haman, who was against her marriage, her people, and her life, Haman was killed in place of Esther. When you rise to pray, when you rise to fast, when you rise to engage in the altar of prayer and fasting, that altar that says you will not have a successful marriage, that altar that says you will not enjoy in marriage, that altar that says that your marriage will not be glorious, as you fast and pray, that altar becomes destroyed. I pray for you, as you engage in prayer and fasting, your marriage will be sustained. Comment below, "My marriage will be sustained." When my mother married my father, life was good. Life was great. My dad was an importer of cereals. He imports cereals from the States to Ghana, sell them, go back, pick some, sell them in containers. Life was so good. He had so many cars. Things were going all right. But along the line, these forces we are dealing with, the book of John, 1 John, the Apostle John said, "The whole world lieth in wickedness." The world is a wicked world. He said, "Ye are of God, little children, because the whole world lieth in wickedness. These forces attacked the marriage of my dad and my mom, specifically their finances. And you know, when finances are attacked in marriage, it means the marriage is also under attack. Anytime you are a couple and your finances is attacked, your source of income is attacked, it simply means that the marriage is under attack. Things were so bad. My dad was in huge debt. He had to travel back to the States to go and work for years to pay back all those debts. But we had a praying mother who kept praying on her knees. When you go on your knees to pray before God, you will rise and stand before men. When you go on your knees to pray, you will rise and stand before men. My mom wakes up every night, midnight, engaging in prayer and fasting. She became so slim that people thought that she had contracted HIV/AIDS. Very slim, very lanky, very thin. She engaged in prayer. She engaged in fasting. She wasn't a wife or a mother who said, I don't care what is happening. Let me eat and sleep and watch television. I don't care what is happening. She woke up in prayer and fasting. As I speak to you today, her marriage is saved. Their finances are restored to the glory of God. That is what a prayerful wife does. That is what a prayerful husband does. Don't eat and sleep and expect to have a successful marriage. Don't eat and sleep and expect that your marriage will be good. It takes prayer and fasting to have a glorious and a successful marriage. I know and believe that as you pick this point and begin to engage in prayer and fasting before your marriage and after the wedding, you are going to have a wonderful and a glorious relationship. Thank you for joining Love Masterclass. The name still remains Jeremiah Prince Asamoah. Until we meet at the top, always remember that winners never quit and quitters never win. Yes, you can.